Hi everybody, so if you saw our last video, we did our top 10 experience type things that weren't rides at the Walt Disney World Resort. So this time we are going to be doing our top 10 must-do rides.
And if you didn't see the last video, here's the link.
I hope I remember to put that in.
Okay, so our first ride, these are in no particular order.
If you tried to make us order it, we would.
No.
We would crumble.
We would be here for years. So the first ride that we put on our list, that is just an arbitrary piece of paper with ink on it. And time is a concept, it doesn't exist.
Okay, so like real quick.
Stop!
The new year has now come upon us. When this video is up, it is 2017. Right now, it's not.
I hate you.
So, I don't understand the concept of like everybody being like, bye 2016. Like, do you know that nothing happens between 11:59 and 12? Time isn't real.
Don't worry, I hate her too. So the first ride on our list,
The Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. First of all, because there's no philosophical ideologies that are gonna follow you in there, just ghosts.
The Haunted Mansion has so much detail. There will always be something new to see when you are in there. And I could give you the whole spiel right now.
It's just, there is a lot to look at, and every time
So
it's
fun.
just, yeah, you just never look the same direction every time, and you're just like, oh, didn't see that the
If
last
you get
time.
stuck on it, you're not mad because you're like, oh my god.
Especially one time, I got stuck on the part where you're laying backwards in the hill, and you're going down.
yeah.
I fell asleep. I clocked out for like 5 minutes.
I wasn't even gonna continue to say what I was gonna say. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Number 2,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
yo ho,
Yo ho.
Pirate's life for me.
I can't even begin to express my love
Literally, she
for
can't.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
And I'm not even trying to just make fun of her right now. Literally, she can't. She loves that ride.
I love it so for one thing, I love history. So Pirates of the Caribbean is set during my favorite time period of American history, particularly. So everything in there, I mean, I understand that this is not like an American movie. It doesn't matter. I love it. I would sit on it for 18 years if I could.
And she's not even like slightly exaggerating.
I've
The
sat on it
actual
before,
number
like,
is probably closer to like 100 years.
I would live in there if I could. Bless you.
Thank you.
I didn't know if it was a cough or a sneeze.
So the next ride on our list is a personal favorite of both of us and a personal disfavorite of many of people, Carousel of Progress.
We love Carousel of Progress. It is near and dear to our hearts. One time I lost a water bottle on it, and that's the lamest story to ever tell.
But she still loves that ride.
I
Moral
do.
of the story. And I feel in my heart that Carousel of Progress has gotten the same reputation as Hall of Presidents, where it is a ride with air conditioning where you can take a nap for 20 minutes. No, stay awake. Rover needs you to love him. Moving on.
Oh my goodness. Carousel of Progress is one of the coolest things because Walt did have a lot to do with the creation of the ride back when it was introduced at the World's Fair in 19-some year.
We're gonna put that right here.
I don't want to like say it incorrectly. So it's just really cool. The song is infectious in my opinion. And there's, again, like Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion, a lot to look at. And a lot of little things that are placed that are just really cool.
And there's a bunch of hidden Mickeys. And my personal favorite thing about it is it was obviously developed way in the past, but they created a vision of what they thought the future was gonna be like. And that is just like the craziest thing to me is that how people back then thought that the future would be now. And they don't really put a year, I don't think,
They
on
don't.
that future aspect. But it feels like 80s in the future and it just blows my mind. I love it.
So the next thing on our list is Spaceship Earth.
Similar to Carousel of Progress, it is a very history-based ride, and this is the history of communication, right? Or technology. See, I've always had that question because Spaceship Earth takes you through how people communicated with one another, because it talks about the scribes copying the books and how the Phoenicians, thank those Phoenicians for your ABCs, they invented them.
See,
and
I
then it
always
goes
thought
on to
that
like
it was the
computers.
history of like us and how we lived and what we wanted. Because at the end, when you go and pick how you want your life to be, it's just asking you what you want. And then it shows you what technology is like based around it, but the root of it is like what you wanted and how you got it.
I think I just learned a lot right now. Can we Google this?
So we just jump cutted because we Googled it. And I feel like I should have known this because I'm a communications major who has taken both a class on the history of communication and a new communication technology class. And it is about communication technology throughout history.
But also what you hope to see out of the future. So there we go.
Cool, the more you know.
Knowledge is power.
The next thing on our list doesn't teach you anything. It is Tower of Terror.
It teaches you that you are afraid of elevators that fall.
Speaking of Tower of Terror, Heather's dad really likes the Twilight Zone.
Oh, I love the Twilight Zone too.
I know, but I think of him more than you because he's more fun.
And there's a marathon on right now. What are we doing? Can we go watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to go through 5 more. I can't count. Tower of Terror is super fun. When I was a little kid, and I say little, I was 13, I went on Tower of Terror for the first time and I cried because I was so scared of like the ghosts in the beginning. But there was one particular time Heather and I went on Tower of Terror and we were watching the little video when you think that you are done and then it went right back up and like we thought we were gone.
And that's my favorite thing about Tower of Terror.
Always
is
different.
Yeah, it's always different. They did one of those modern Marvel episodes about it, and they said that the technology put in Tower of Terror makes it so like all of the drop sequences differ, so like it's never the same. And I love it.
And it's cool.
It's really stinking cool.
Anything super themed like that that's specific to Walt Disney World, we are a big fan of, clearly.
So the next one is, again, similar. I love it just because technology and how did they think of this?
I don't know.
This is at Epcot, and this is in Innovations.
Interventions. She couldn't write it either, so.
Yep, Innovations. And this is the ride, make your own roller coaster. It probably has an actual name, but you sit on it and you go on this little computer and you put all of the things you want in a roller coaster, and then you sit in this little pod and it makes you go on a roller coaster. It's really cool.
I have absolutely no idea how this works, but you pick all the loops you want, how fast you want it to go, and this thing for one thing, can watch other people on their rides. You can't see what they're riding, but you see the little pod that they're sitting in, and it's like this big arm that just like holds you and twists you around, and like when you're sitting in it, you can't see anything really other than the track that you built for yourself, and it's bizarre because I don't understand how it works, but it's so fun.
It is really cool, and I feel like it's one of these attractions that nobody knows about in Epcot because everyone's always like, Test Track, Soarin', and yeah,
And
Frozen.
it's just kind of hidden inside Interventions, and also a good ride to go on if it's hot outside because it's indoors.
So the next one is our tribute to Animal Kingdom, and this is just our favorite ride in Animal Kingdom, and that's the safari, because again, kind of like Tower, you never know what you're gonna see, and it's always changing, especially the animals are real.
It's just
Looking
fun.
at you, Jungle Cruise.
But you can't see the backside of water in Kilimanjaro safaris.
And they tell far less puns, so you pick and choose your battles. I'm a big fan of the puns.
Kilimanjaro Safari is just one of those like immersive experiences, and it's like so real, it can't be faked. It's just like, it's a lot of fun. The next thing on our list is the People Mover. I don't really know why we like the People Mover as much as we do, but I have a sticker on the back of my laptop that says paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow.
I've always loved the People Mover, because especially even if I was like playing in the parks by myself, like a loser with no friends.
I am her friend, and I'm sitting right here.
I am a loser with no friends. Time is an illusion. So, but it was always just great to kind of sit on it, and then I would always use my People Mover experience as a People Watcher experience. So like, it's just a great way to kind of go over Tomorrowland and just creep on people, which sounds really weird, but...
Pro tip, if you ever want to go on Space Mountain but it is shut down, go on the People Mover if you want to peek at what the inside of Space Mountain looks like, because whenever Space Mountain's down, all the lights on the inside will be on, and the People Mover circles around the big thing that Space Mountain is in, and you can see it.
And if you know any nuggets who are a little bit afraid of Space Mountain because it's so
or
dark,
too short to go on it.
yes, you can tell them that the People Mover does go through the dark part of Space Mountain so they can see if it's something that they want to try, or if they're too short, you can say that they went on Space Mountain, just it was a different track.
Look at that.
So the next ride is another
Near and
one
dear to our hearts.
near and dear to our hearts, and anytime we go to like a candle store and we smell anything that smells similar to the popping champagne bottles, we are just
I texted him
in
today and
awe.
I was like, yo, I was at Walmart yesterday and I found a candle that smelled exactly like Philharmagic.
Yep.
And that's what it is.
It's Philharmagic. It's great. Go on it. You'll enjoy it.
It's so fun. It really has those movies included in it that are like probably your favorites, or at least your favorite songs from Disney movies, and it is just so much fun. It's, I would argue, like interactive because it has water and it has like air shooting out and scents, and it's just like,
It is a 4D experience through many movies.
Word, 4D.
And although like the mouse is near and dear to my heart, I also really love Donald. Donald is, I just love him. He's so funny, and it is all pretty much about Donald. So
it is. It's so fun. We love it.
Yes,
so
it's
so
great.
much, and the line probably won't ever be long.
yes, so it is again a great ride for air conditioning, but it's also really fun.
The last thing on our list is Soarin'. Now we must note, we are talking about Soarin' over California because we have not been on Soarin' around the world, although I assume we would love it.
My cousin just got back from a trip from Disney World, and she said that she loved it, and I believe she said there was a part that goes over Paris, and she said it was absolutely breathtaking. So yeah.
I love the music for Soarin'. If you ever are waking up in the morning and you're like getting ready and you need something to pump you up
And just make
get
you feel really
going,
majestic.
listen to the Soarin' music. I
yes.
listen to it every day of my life.
I listened to it while studying, and I thought I was like a rocket scientist, and meanwhile I was just sitting there doing like graphs for each.
I feel like a fun thing for us to do, if any of you have Spotify, Heather and I have this playlist called If You Can Dream It and You Can Do It, and it's kind of for us our like get through your last semester of college.
But it is public and collaborative, so
we're
go
gonna
for
put
it.
a link down below if you want to add music to it, if you just want to listen to it so you can see what kind of stuff we like to listen to. It's really just our like feel good favorite songs, has some Disney stuff thrown in there. Obviously it's named after a Disney related quote, so yeah, we'll link that down below.
And as you guys can tell from the lack of videos from the past couple months, we live nowhere near each other, so weirdly enough, Spotify is one of those things where like, hey, thought of you, and this is a song, go listen to the thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So thank you guys for watching this video and for listening to our ridiculous rants about must-dos and all of these rides that we really
I
love.
thought you were gonna say mustard.
We just love that mustard. Disney mustard.
Thank you.
Must do the Disney mustard.
Thank you guys for watching, and we hope you have a happy new year now that it's happened.
Yeah, 2017.
We're graduating this year. That's so scary. Can you hear the fear in my voice?
Why would you say that?
That's what I thought when it was 2013 and it was a new year. We were seniors in high school. And then when it turned that year, I'm like, oh my God, that's the year that we graduate. This is like we graduate like our childhood.
And I'm going to Disney in March. Have a magical day, everyone.
Bye.